Today is Wednesday. I'm Lashana Guy, and this is Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift and inspire us all and bring us together. Every weekday at 10:30 a.m., we are recapping the good news only. That's the feel good headlines, the local and community wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email to news25 at wek.com and be sure to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. I would love to share your good news right here on the show. So today, as always, is full of reasons to smile. But before we start, I would love to say Happy New Year Eve, right? And then New Year's Eve, and then tomorrow it'll be New Year's Day, and we'll talk about New Year's Day tomorrow. But now I want to say happy birthday to my best friend, Misty. I won't say her last name here, but Misty with an I, not with a Y. I love her so much, and I wanted to share just a little bit about her with you all today because I'm sure that a lot of us have best friends, right? Like, tell me about your best friend. If you have a best friend, send me an email and let me know who they are, how you met, why you like them, what you like about them is what I want to know. What's special about them and how you met. So, because I would share that here, and I'm sure they would love the love, right? To be shouted out. Anyway, so Misty is my best friend. We met in high school. I think I was already 16. No, I wasn't. I was 15. Misty, did you realize that? She's watching today from her desk at work. But I think I was 16. I think we were turning 16 when we met. And we were in child development class. And I remember she was sitting right in front of me. Our desks were in these rows. And she had like this little ponytail top of her head. It came out in a little fan, and then the rest of the hair was down. And I remember looking at the back of her head thinking, what is going on with her head? Why is her hair all over her head like that? And the teacher was telling us that she was going to put us like in groups of four, I think. Yeah, four. And I remember thinking to myself when we got to her, because you know how they give you those little M&Ms and make you say one thing about yours. I hated that, and I still hate it with a deep, deep passion. I hate when they do that. Say something about yourself. So while I'm waiting, the teacher had gotten to Misty, and she had this little mousy. Not that it was quiet by any means. It was just very high pitched, squeaky, mousy voice. And she said some. I can't remember what she said, but they were funny. The whole class laughed, and I was just like, Lord, don't let her be in my group. But the teacher put her in my group, and then we ended up together in the group, and we had to do something similar to that M&M thing again. And the first thing she said was, I'm not going to say what she said, but the first thing she said was funny because it was true, and it was sad, and it was traumatic, but it matched the trauma that I was going through at that moment. And I looked at her and I said, you're going to be my friend. And we have been friends ever since. We've been through some trying times, life's trying times. We've been from state to state, halfway across the country, and we have not let go of each other. And she is so much fun. She's so giving. She's so loving. She's one of those people who thinks about other people at all times. She's one of those people who lives off principle, and she tries to do what is right and will highlight where somebody else, where you may not have done what was right. But she's always forgiving, always loving, and very kind, and lots and lots and lots and lots of fun, very loyal, and I love her to pieces. So happy birthday, Misty. Everybody wish Misty a happy birthday. And again, I want to hear from you. I want to know who your best friend is, how you met, and tell me what you like about them. What's so special about them? What makes them your best friend? And if you don't call each other best friends, send me something about somebody that is a close friend, a person you love the most in terms of being able, a friendship, being able to go to them and talk about anything, right? Like, we all need people in our lives who are close to us, who get us, who love us. And that was my favorite thing. We'd sit on the curb outside and talk about what our lives would look like So she's just a great person to be able to look back and see how life has turned out, or is turning, continue to turn out now. So we'll be back after the break. Welcome back again. Happy New Year's Eve. As I said before, today's show is full of reasons to smile, so let's get into it. As the new year approaches, so there's some healthy ways to be able to kick off 2026 with a breath of fresh air. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources is inviting families to take part in a first day hike on January 1st. That's tomorrow. Visitors can explore one of 17 Illinois state parks across the state with free self guided hikes. The hikes are family friendly and designed to help people reset after the holidays. This year's program also highlights America's 250th anniversary with special stickers and photo opportunities at many parks. This sounds wonderful, and I encourage all of you to go do it. I'm glad, for one, that it's not happening during the spring or summer because there's particular animals that I just cannot tolerate. But then I think about going to go do this and the fact that there may or may not be animals out there, period. So I don't know if my phobias will allow me to be out in nature with all that outside. But I think the fresh air and just the scenery, because that's beautiful. And the moments, the memories with your families, and to get up, you know what I'm saying? Get up off the couch and move around and jumpstart some of those physical health goals that you all may have. This is a great idea and a very good opportunity that the state or the National Parks Department is offering. I'm sorry, the Illinois Department of Natural Resources is offering. It's an easy, no cost way to start the new year outdoor and to be energized. So there's that. And so the Illinois State Fair is going digital in 2026 with a transition to electronic ticketing. And I'm like, about time, not just for Illinois, but for all fairs. About time. So the tickets will be downloaded ahead of time or stored on or in a phone's e-wallet instead of having to print having those printed copies. The fair officials say the move modernizes the experience, improves security, and meets expectations for today's families. Yes, because why do I always have to stop at the ATM? My word. Or go to the ATM that's there. Or what if I need more tickets and then I got to go figure out how to get more cash? I like this. So the mega and jumbo passes will still require an in-person visit to the fair administration office for a photo ID starting in June. The 2026 Illinois State Fair runs August 13th through August 23rd in Springfield. That sounds like a great time, especially since how you don't have to go and figure out cash. Sounds nice and carefree. So a new Illinois law taking effect January 1st, that's tomorrow, could impact workers facing serious mental health challenges. And I will tell you how after the break because I feel it in my bones that our alarm is about to sound. And we're going to have to go to break very, very soon. And so, anyway, I'll tell you about that when we come back. Welcome back. So, employees will now be able to collect unemployment benefits if they have to quit a job due to certain certified mental health disabilities. So, let's look at this video here. The condition must be verified by a licensed mental health professional. The eligibility and return to work discussions and decisions will be reviewed by a doctor and the Illinois Unemployment Board. Lawmakers say that the 3-year pilot program reflects growing awareness of mental health in the workplace, which I think is fabulous. The law will remain in effect through December 2028. I think this is an awesome thing. I think I had somebody tell me a couple years ago friend of mine she was in a situation, and it wasn't here in Illinois. She had to quit a job though because she just couldn't, is what she kept saying to me. I just cannot. And for her, gratefully at that time, she was single, no kids, no husband, no family to take care of, but she had to still take care of herself. And the decision and the thoughts around, how am I going to take care of myself if I quit this job, versus feeling compelled, like she had no other option, for the sake of her life, right? Like her own well being, to quit the job. That was a tough decision. I remember thinking then, like, what do people do when they are in that situation? Because there are people who they just can't, for whatever reason, whether it's a temporary mental health issue that's taken place, or if it's something that is more chronic, more ongoing, more long term. Some people just simply cannot. And I just love that we are living in a day and time where we are being more open, and honest, and building community around acknowledging mental health, and how important it is to our overall health. So I congratulate and thank the state of Illinois for acknowledging this need in our community. And drivers and commuters will soon need to plan ahead for a major road closure. I included this today in Good News just because I thought you might want to know about this, and because I think it's really good that they are offering shuttle service. So Illinois Route 116 Harmon Highway will close Friday for a large bridge replacement project. There are so many bridges around here, and I know this is the River City, but I've lived in one before, and we did not have this many bridges. There are a lot of bridges. Sometimes I feel like this Peoria is an island, like so many bridges. So the closure includes Airport Road, and it's expected to last through 2026. So there's that. Sorry, just a moment here, looking at our time. Yep, okay. So it's expected to last through 2026. During construction, CityLink will operate a shuttle connecting the downtown transit center to the airport and the jail. Anyone traveling to Bellevue via Plank Road will also need to use the shuttle. So officials say the shuttle will help maintain access while construction is underway. Nothing worse than being rerouted due to construction, especially when it's a long-term project, and you have to get to and fro. And sometimes these places that we've got to go to that have this construction are part of our daily routines, and so they get broken up, and those routines get broken up when there's construction. And I love that they are offering shuttle service to be able to still get to your daily commitments. So there's that. If you need that, be sure to do what you need to do to make arrangements. And so still, we've got the so-called midlife crisis that we're going to be talking about coming up after the break. It may no longer happen to people who are in midlife or at that time of their life at all. When we come back, we'll discuss what age group studies are showing may be the most affected by midlife. I feel like I have a midlife something every year, at this point, like, because life is ever changing. It's constantly moving. Something's always something. I feel like midlife crisis is I've had a couple of them at this point, and some of them were when I was younger, and a lot of them just last year. Okay, more after the break. Welcome back now to the story I was telling you about before the break about midlife crisis. New research shows that today's young adults may be most affected, experiencing the toughest mental health issues that they have in years, and they're doing it earlier than expected. So, studies from Dartmouth College and University College in London found young people report higher levels of stress, worry, and despair. In the U.S., the number of people under 25 reporting poor mental health has nearly tripled since the 1900s. Researchers say the trend is being seen in more than 40 countries worldwide, with young women most affected. Experts recommend prioritizing sleep, social connection, and limiting screen time, and seeking professional help when needed. This is very interesting. Now, limiting screen time, I've heard a lot of people talk about social media and how just constantly being on the feeds make them feel like, maybe they are not up to par or off schedule, or not living the way that others are, and not meeting whatever standard they see there. I think that's a good idea anyway, just to limit social media, because there's so much stuff on there, like, be it good or bad, good news, bad news, doesn't, it's just stuff. For me, Facebook is a challenge, just because I'm like, does anybody read? I don't know. It just brings up all kinds of issues and things that get under my skin. So it just annoys me, basically. So I usually, for the new year, take a break. Last year's break for me was almost a year. I only got back on Facebook because I came here to 25 News and needed to. But in order to stay connected with you all. But that it's always such a serene thing when I take that break, so that's good. But my daughter was also, I was talking to her on our drive here when I picked her up from school for the break, and she was saying how she feels behind in life. I'm like, you're 19, behind. You're 19. You're in college. You graduated high school with your associate's degree, so that means you're gonna graduate with your bachelor's early. Like, everything I'm looking at says early, but for whatever reason, she feels like she is late, and I'm like, late to where? But and it makes her sad. Like, it bothers her in a way. It makes her feel very anxious. So can you imagine her not getting to whatever mile marker she thinks she should be at? I would imagine it would make you sad. So um, personally, I can understand how so many young adults are now feeling this, because things were different for us, I think, back in the 1900s. I couldn't believe they said the 1900s. They could have said the 90s. Thanks. I mean, we're not that far off from the 90s. It's only the 2020s. But it was just different. Like, things were different. But even then, my age was looked at as an old person. So we had less. There was not so much internet and not so much information coming to us all at one time. But coming up after the break, we're going to talk about an act of kindness that is sure to relieve some of that stress. So we'll talk about more of that after the break. And an act of kindness is changing one family's future in a big way. A single father in Stockton, California, was gifted a brand new, well, not brand new, sorry, was gifted a new car after not having one for a year. This is a fresh set of wheels for him, and it gave him some renewed hope. So Jacob Nunez, you see here, and his son had gone more than a year without a car, relying on Uber for transportation. A local body shop refurbished a donated 2017 Hyundai Sonata, and surprised him at work with the keys. The car was gifted through the National Auto Body Council's Recycled Rides program. And Nina says having reliable transportation means freedom from grocery trips to fishing outings with his son. The shop owner says giving back reminds us that generosity can change lives. Well, that is a wrap for me today. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at WEK.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. Tell me who your best friend is, why you love them, how you met. Be sure to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. And meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. I'm LaShauna Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful day. Happy birthday, Misty!